Hello, I hope you're doing well. This is a big subject today. We're going to be talking about microwave radiation, which is why I have the camera focused on this app that I use, simply called Microwave Dosimeter. There are a lot of apps that you can find for free, but a lot of them don't necessarily measure what people think they're measuring. Most of them that I've found measure Gauss or Tesla units, which is fine for measuring electromagnetic radiation, but that doesn't really measure a lot of what is coming out of certain devices that a lot of people are using every day in their homes, that they're exposed to this invisible radiation that is in some cases harming to the body. So that's what we're going to be measuring, and I'm going to be showing you. Now, I must confess, this app isn't the best user interface layout. I'll show you. I'll click that and open it. It's very simple, which is good, easy to use. It shows this graph here, and you'll notice right now, over here in the left corner, it starts out in the green because I'm nowhere near any significant radiation emitting devices apart from these phones. And that's something that a lot of people will question, these phones' ability to capture and measure these frequencies. However, that's what they use. So it really makes sense that they would be able to show you visually what they are using and picking up. But as you'll see right now, it's in the green because I'm nowhere near anything. So this app, this microwave dosimeter, is really the only one I could find at the moment that measures this particular band of frequencies. It's very small. I don't think you can see with this camera these measurements here on the left side of the chart or the graph. It's measuring in microwatts, which is really what you want to be looking for as a measurement. Particularly, you measure in microwatts for a particular distance or volume, which is microwatts per centimeter squared. I believe that's what this is measuring. But right now, it's in the green, which is a sort of general clear area. It's sort of arbitrary, the designation. You'll see it gets into the red, which is generally considered to be more dangerous, more harmful to the body. But it's sort of arbitrary. There really is no designated safe number. It sort of varies per person. For example, children are much more susceptible, so a lower number is more harmful to children than it is to adults. But again, this sort of varies. So you'll notice there is no set level of safe, microwave radiation. So I don't know if you notice that I have this app on my home screen on my phone, so that I use it all the time. I measure it everywhere. You'd be surprised what you'll find. I discovered in the gym it was spiking in the red, so their Wi-Fi is obviously affecting people without them knowing it. So anyway, so you'll notice right now it's in the green, and I'm going to start walking here. I don't know if you can see because of the quality of the camera. I'm walking now. You'll get to see more light on the floor. You'll start to see on the right here, it's going to start going into the red as I get closer to this radiation emitting source that so many people have in their homes, and yet because it's invisible, they don't necessarily know that it's passing through their bodies. And you're going to see, so it's starting to go up higher. Oh, now it just passed 1 microwatt in this measurement. I think it's centimeters squared. So it's starting to get redder as I get closer down here. Now you'll notice I'm right next to the fridge. This is not the refrigerator that's doing this. It's what I have in this cupboard down here. You'll notice there's a plug here. So you'll notice it's getting higher into the red the closer I get here. Still jumping up. So what do I have in here? I'll open it and show you. You'll see as I open the door, it continues to climb higher into the red. The closer I get to the source, the higher it's going to be reading, because the radiation is strongest closest to the source. So what is in here? I don't know if you can see. It is my Wi-Fi. So this is something that some people are sitting next to all day long, in some cases, and they are being irradiated without even knowing it. and we're going to get into some other readings here. But for right now, this is the biggest offender in my home and in a lot of people's homes. Again, it's not these candles. I have some candles here too. But I keep this sort of hidden and protected behind my refrigerator, so the refrigerator can act as sort of a barrier or a shield. Because I was, before I discovered this, I had it in my room, more centralized, and I was closer to it. So now you'll see as we back away from it, we go further away, you're going to see it start dropping again. It's a very slow reading device on this phone. So yeah, now you see it's starting to go back into the green. So yeah, now that we're further away, but again, we get closer to it, and I'll show you what happens when I unplug it. You'll see it, drop off completely from the red. So you know that that's what's causing it. So here I'm closer to it. I just came back closer to it again. It's hard to see with this camera. It's not the best quality. Sorry about that. I'm not making any money off these videos, so I can't afford the best equipment at the moment. But so you see, I'm closer again to it, so now it's starting to go back up into the red. But you'll see it drop off when I unplug the Wi-Fi here. It's got stuck. Whoops! Dropped the phone there. So I unplugged the Wi-Fi, and now you're going to see it start dropping back into the green because the source is gone. Again, it takes a minute to detect that and refresh and recycle the measurements. Right now it still looks like it's in the red, but you'll see it drop off here because the source is gone. You can kind of see that. Yeah, there it goes. There, now it's back into the green. So it's sort of a delayed reading on this particular meter. Again, it's not the best quality, but you'll notice it's obviously working. It's obviously detecting something because yeah, it unplugged, and now it's back down into the green. So that just shows people that these routers and Wi-Fi emitting devices they're emitting something, and it's up to you to determine whether or not that's healthy or not. But I mean, this is sort of a visual aid to show you that something is being emitted from these in a radius all around them. That's how they work. They sort of transmit energy and frequencies and information in a field within a certain radius around them in all directions, and it depends on the particular model, the strength, and how far it will go. But some people are sitting next to these all day long and are being affected cellularly by this invisible microwave radiation. Now it's really the same radiation in the same way a microwave oven works. It's shown here. However, it's kind of doing the opposite thing, whereas in the microwave oven, the radiation is focused towards the inside, but in Wi-Fi, it's actually, and these phones, for example, it's actually emitting from it in all directions around it. So it's sort of the opposite principle, whereas the microwave is focused within, and these phones and other devices are spreading it outwardly. So now we're going to go show you another appliance which people have in their home that is also emitting radiation. So I've reset the meter on the phone, so you'll see now it's back in the green. It's starting over, coming from the left side, and you remember the Wi-Fi is off now, so this is not going to be coming from that. And I'm going downstairs now, and you're going to start see it going, the meter going up again and reading. There's a big jump. But what's interesting about this, these readings in this particular room were much higher a few months ago. So that leads me to believe that these machines can be calibrated. The thing, see now it's spiked into the red. And so maybe someone who creates these devices has actually turned them down a little bit to stop them. Because before, this was going in the red and staying there. Now it sort of spikes and pulses. It's see, like that. It's back in the red again. So this is now that's a big jump. Now it's so, but yeah, it's not constant like it was before. So it's a little bit better now, which I guess is a positive. So this is my bed here. I was sleeping here, and I did not know that I was being irradiated in my sleep by a very deviously named device. A lot of people probably don't realize that the word smart, as in smartphones and smart meters, is an acronym, and we'll get into what that stands for. But I wanted to show you that what is on the other side of this wall, we're going outside now, is what they call a smart meter. But you'll notice, so here it is, pretty standard, typical one, just a little dirty with the leaves on there. But what you'll notice on this is that, so it's not actually picking up anything on the outside of the house, it's actually dropped. So what that tells you is that it is not projecting any of this microwave radiation outside, which is very suspicious. And see, when you go back inside, then you will see it spike again. And so that tells you that it's actually projecting this microwave radiation inside the house. Now that's very suspicious, and you may wonder why and how it's doing that until you learn an acronym that some use for the term SMART is Secret Militarized Armaments in Residential Technology. A lot of these technologies, cell phones and meters, appliances with that name, have actually been, they come from military applications, developments that are in there using, again, microwave radiation as weapons or surveillance. So that's just, it's sort of, it's up to your own interpretation, but again, you'll notice it's getting a higher reading inside than it is outside. And again, this is much lower than it used to be. The readings on this used to be constantly in the red, but you'll notice that dip there in the readings was actually on the outside, right on the outside, right on the other side of this wall is where the smart meter, well, wireless meter is. But this is actually a huge improvement that it's, now it's only occasionally going into the red here. So that's much better than it was before. So I guess, find the bright side. But again, I was sleeping in here, and I stopped sleeping in here once I discovered this, because you can't necessarily feel it. Some people who are super sensitive to this sort of radiation can notice a difference, probably a tingling, a buzzing, headaches. But a lot of people aren't that sensitive. So they may develop issues over time. This thing, they pass through the body, whether you can see it or feel it or not. And so we'll see again, the closer I get to it, it's on the other side of this wall here, the meter. So the closer I get to it, it should spike again. Again, this particular device takes a little bit of time to register that. Okay, so now here we are, right on the other side of this wall here is where the quote smart meter is, and so now you'll see there's a spike there in the reading. But again, people have these in their homes and don't necessarily know that they are pushing radiation into the home. And not only that, they're used for surveillance, which a lot of people would have a problem with. I don't have as big of a problem with that as I do the health factor, that this is, passing through people's bodies, affecting them on a cellular, genetic level. And again, it's a huge invasion that a lot of people aren't even aware of, that, militaries are doing this, and they have backdoor access through these energy companies, which claim to be installing these devices in people's homes for our benefit. Of course, that's why they're doing it for free without telling people, right? It's all for our benefit, none of theirs. So it's really shady. Pretty sure the energy companies are being paid off or manipulated by certain military intelligence agencies, to gather information. Again, it's such a valuable tool and resource to some people. But so again, you'll notice it's not as bad down here as it used to be. I wish I would have taken these measurements a few months ago, but I didn't start this channel until more recently. And so again, I guess it's a good thing that the readings in here aren't as high as they used to be, but they used to be all in the red right here, right above my bed where I was sleeping, which is why I don't sleep down here anymore. But see, again, you see it still pulses and in blips occasionally. It does spike up into the red. So it's not a constant bombardment like it used to be, but it's more subtle now. But I guess it's a slight improvement. But anyway, so again, it's very suspicious. You can interpret it how you will that the meter is not projecting this energy outwardly, but it is projecting inside the house. And I've asked my neighbor who's on the other side of this wall if there's no transmitters or Wi-Fi or anything else that could be causing this. There's nothing plugged in down here. There's the TV there that again I haven't been down here, so it's unplugged. Nothing else that could be. That's what this is. And again, I first learned about this in documentaries. One of them, I believe, called Resonance. But yeah, I learned that this is going on in people's homes without their knowledge. They are replacing people's meters for free without telling them. And again, in this business culture of profit over people, that is highly suspicious that people would be swapping out for newer technology for no charge on people's homes without telling them. So I find that highly suspicious and telling. Um, Again, I'm just showing you the readings. It's up to you to interpret what to do about it or not. And I've researched. It's a process. If you want these wireless meters swapped out for old ones, analog ones, you can do that. They don't want you to do that. Obviously, they've gone through a lot of effort to replace these and put these in, but you have to go through a series of communications and emails and so it's quite a process. You can get it done, but it's up to you whether or not you think it's worth it, whether or not you think this is a big enough health risk. But again, the Wi-Fi one, as of right now, is a bigger threat to more people. You'll see it moving around a little bit. It's still getting in the red occasionally. It's really not as bad as it used to be. So it's going to be worse, obviously, in some places rather than others. If there's a bank of wireless meters, that's a big, bigger source of radiation. But again, this is vastly improved over what it used to be, so that's a good thing. But again, it's up to you what you do with this information or don't do. I'm just sharing it. So you may be asking, what is the value of the intelligence or the surveillance gathering? Well, they can measure not only your energy and appliance usage, but they can also measure. They can really see inside your home. They know when you're there or not. It's kind of like the imaging screen that was in the movie The Dark Knight, that Batman was kind of triangulating all the cell phone signals and showing an image. It's kind of like that, only way more advanced than that. It's you can use this energy to detect movement and triangulation of people, not only in their homes but in other places. So that's a value to some, but also this has to do with the medical industry, where it's sort of a very devious and negative method of subtly creating disease in order so people will spend tons of money on treatments and procedures and surgeries and all that. So some would see that as, oh, that's a conspiracy. Well, yeah, it is. You're right. Or a conspiracy theory. If you call it a theory, that probably just means you don't understand how it works yet, or that it's a real thing. But yeah, I mean, in a sense, everything is a conspiracy, if you want to use that word, or a co-creation, an orchestration, if you will. Some are more positive than negative, but you'll see. I mean, this is showing you that there is something that this meter is picking up, and here it's going much more in the red now. Again, this is right on the other side of the wall, this wireless meter, which is why it's spiked there. Again, I'm still right outside in the same spot, but yeah. So the closer it is, again, to the source, the higher the reading is going to be, and luckily this is less of a reading than it used to be. So thank you, energy companies, I guess, for calibrating these a little bit lower. but still, it's in a sense of a violation that a lot of people just aren't aware of yet. Again, they've been tricked into dismissing things as, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, because they don't understand how or why other people would or could do such things. But when you do your research, it makes more sense. Which is why, if you heard the acronym SMART and didn't know that some people it stands and didn't know that to some people it stands for secret militarized armaments and residential technology, this wouldn't make sense. They would be thinking, how could this be? Why would this be happening? But when you know that acronym, then, well, it makes a lot more sense. Again, the more you know, the more information you have, the more of a bigger picture you can see. So I'll end this for now. This is enough information on this subject. Probably won't be my last posting on it, but for now, I wanted to show you two big offenders that are in people's homes. Again, a lot of people have a lot more devices and appliances that use this microwave radiation. Again, it's been sold to them like it's completely for their benefit. For tying everything together into their phones, and so they can control their entire house just with the push of buttons. But there are other factors going on, and there are other agendas that are not just for the benefit of the consumer, but for the benefits of the creators of these technologies. So again, it's up to you what you do or don't do with this information. I'm just sharing it, and the rest is up to you. So here we are next to the wall again. So again, the closer you get, the more it spikes up. So there you go. I can't turn this smart meter off. Again, I know people can get them replaced with analog versions. It just takes a little bit of effort on your part. But for now, yeah, I'm just showing you that these things are putting out radiation, and you don't necessarily see or feel it, but through this technology, you can detect it to some degree. And please like and subscribe and share with others. I'm doing my best to help educate people about certain things that are not necessarily well known yet. But some people know them, obviously, because this is where I learned them from others, and so I'm passing it along to others who will learn from me. So thank you so much for watching. Infinite love and light, good health and happiness to you.